Rats.
Rats. Rats. Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we listen to one of their records, we break it down, we get into the lyrics, music, how it was made, the art, everything you could possibly think of, and we try to have a good time doing it. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars and 5 stars only. Please go do that. All the social media is at Asinine Radio. Join our Discord because we have a good time on that as well. We talk to everybody. Everybody talks to each other, make fun of each other. It's a good time. It's really a good time. So, yeah, did I already say I'm Tyler and Jeff is out there hundreds of miles away? If I didn't, that's how it goes. So what are we doing today, Jeff?
We are doing Ghost and their album Prequelle.
So what's your...
Those are things.
Those are things, yes. What is your... what's your origin story with the band Ghost? What do you got? Go.
This is a band that's been around for longer than they have any fucking right to be honest.
Don't be disrespectful.
Dude, fucking A, man. It's whatever. But it wasn't until more recently in the past 5-6 years that you've been getting more into them and just like running your fucking mouth all the time. Ghost this, fucking Ghost that.
Running my
fucking A. It's just like Ghost. So finally, I had enough. And it was like during the last pod, like, fuck it. Let's just do Ghost. Let's put it to bed. I don't want to hear no more about it. Because over the course of the years, I've never been a fan. I've never thought anything they've done was mind blowing. I've come around a little bit, and this week finally kind of made me see this is their best album for a variety of reasons. But this is it. I'm done, dude. I'm tapped out. I am good. I am good.
This and a few other songs. That's where you draw the line.
They have a lot of good. They do a lot of good covers. They do a lot of
good covers are good.
But it makes this album better just because a lot of covers they do the best are like 80s pop bands.
Yeah.
And that's what brings more of this specific sound into like a better light, I guess.
That's what I feel Ghost does best is take the best out of 80s arena rock, 80s hair metal, all that kind of 80s new wave, and just put them into a Ghost song. It's just the best of all of that because most of that shit sucks, but they took the best of it and combined it into one entity, and that's what Ghost is.
Yeah,
that's how
agree.
I view it.
That's what makes this album work better than everything else they've done.
Yeah, this one is truly. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get into it in a bit. So your origin story was me just kind of bugging you for years about this.
Damn, just changed the record already. You know what I mean?
I don't get it, but okay. My origin story was probably around 2013, 14 during the Infest record. I don't want to try to pronounce the full name of that record because it's annoying. So I'll just call it Infest. And it was during that I started to get into them. I didn't really like most of the songs I heard up to that point, but then it was year 0. That song changed it all for me. I really, really got into that one. I love that song. And then Meliora came out shortly after that, after I got into it. And then I just really got into Meliora. And then I've just really enjoyed this band ever since. I've just really, really haven't. But Prequelle is the one that it's so different. It has a bit of everything. It has a bit of the prog. It has a bit of the metal, the pop rock, arena rock. It has everything on it. It has the ballads. It has the best ballad. Like the best of what you get from ballads is on this record. This record is phenomenal. It really, really is. I mean, what are your initial thoughts on this one?
I mean, I ranked this higher than I did Meliora because, again, going back to the rankings, I thought we were doing Meliora, and I was bummed, dude. I was ready to call it quits. I was ready to put the kibosh on Meliora, and I confirmed that which one you wanted to do, and it was this one, and it was just like a sigh of relief. It was like, oh, thank God, dude. I cannot believe. It was also kind of just weird that you wanted to do this one, and I already thought this one was like their best by far. So that was nice. But my initial thoughts
it's not
was,
weird because it is the best. Like by far, it is their best record.
I agree. By far, it is their best record.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking it's a marathon. The difference between the two.
I don't disagree with you on that.
But my initial thoughts were I wanted so much to hate this record as a whole, and in a lot of ways I do. But Ghost is a comedy act, right? At worst, at best, they're just a bunch of guys that grew up listening to '80s kind of shitty music in the '80s, but also really like metal and wanted to put their spin on it. So I think that's what this band is. This band is a metal band at heart. Just they listen to so much fucking American '80s music. That I don't know. They formed a band around that.
Well, so I understand what you mean, and I agree with some of it, but it's really just one guy. It's Tobias Forge. He created this band. The whole first Ghost record is him, outside of the drums. Everything is written by him, played by him, and pretty much all the Ghost records, he plays almost everything. There are some other songwriting people, but most of it is just all. It's pretty much all Tobias. It's just his influence. I thought too.
I mean, for the most part, it is. But then you see them. I didn't watch 90% of these videos, but you'll see them previewing these songs live years before the album comes out, or years before the songs even materialized. And you'll see them preview it live, and you'll see like different iterations of Ghost play these songs live, and they play them a little bit different because specifically, I think it was like Dance, or maybe even it was Rats. I don't remember which one it was, but they played it live multiple times before, and because it was different people playing it live, they played it a little bit different. So I do think that even though it's him writing this song under the umbrella of Ghost, everybody in the band has helped shape these songs to be where they're at now. It's not 100% him.
That's fair. Okay.
And I only think that because they previewed these songs live years before. Sometimes years before, not always years before, but they do preview them a lot before the album is released.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you on that.
But I do think this is just good. It's good, solid metal. It's good, hearty metal. If someone's trying to get into like metal music, just give them Ghost. Like it's digestible. It's easy. It's a grilled cheese. It's a good, fine, dude.
It's a good gateway band into metal. That's what it is.
Bologna sandwich.
And that's why I call it pop metal or pop rock, because that's what it is. It has the big melodies, the big choruses and all that, but it still has that chugginess in parts. It still has some good, especially on this record and their last record, some great guitar leads too.
My problem with that is that this is the only album that I thought they really, really embraced the pop. Every time else, they tried to mask it under things. This is the one where they really brought the pop to the front and said, fuck it. Here is a pop ballad song with some heavy chugs here and there. But even the chugs aren't that heavy. The synth sounds aren't that heavy. This is a pop album that just happens to be done by a bunch of metal guys.
Well, so when I first started listening to this record, I always felt like the mix was the mix and mastering was very, very polished. Like it could be a lot more raw sounding, a lot more chugging and more aggressive overall, but everything does sound like it's run through like a just a softener. Like that's the only way I could describe it, like a softening. They're just trying to soften everything. Like maybe they had these big ambitions of playing, these big heavy guitars, the Gibson SGs and the big orange amps, all that kind of stuff, and having this deep guttural sound or crunchy sound, but
not good enough.
In the mix, like Andy Wallace, I'm pretty sure Andy Wallace mixed this one, and he's also known for really kind of polishing up records and softening them. I mean, we saw it with, fucking Nirvana, with Blink, with so many fucking bands over the years. And I feel like this is a product of that. But otherwise, I mean, I think the songs are there. 100% the songs are there. The mix, I'm not the hugest fan of, but the songs are really good, and they make up for that, at least.
I think like this band is just not good enough to produce something on the same level as even like some of the worst Sabbath. They're just not good enough. I don't think they have it in them.
I get it, and I agree with you on that, but who cares?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like this one, is because they stopped trying to do that, and they said, "Fuck it." We like ABBA, we like a lot of this really bad hair metal stuff. Even like Rats, dude. Rats is very. There's a lot of parts of the song that's very fucking bad hair metal of the '80s.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but I dig it. Like, embrace it. Who gives a fuck, man? If you like shit bands like Poison, Def Leppard, that's fine. You shut up. If you like those terrible bands, that's fine. Incorporate that into your music. Don't try and hide it. Put it in the front. Own it. Mm-hmm. And that's what they did here. And that's why I respect it.
I believe it was this record where Tobias had said that this is the first time where like he felt the most in control, the most relaxed when it comes to the recording. I guess it was just him and the producer. They did everything outside of coming to LA and recording the drums, or something. It was something along those lines, and everything was done in house. There was really no outside influence, and I feel like you hear, if I'm remembering correctly, you hear that kind of purity on this record. And I love that not every song sounds the same. Everything has its own unique kind of feel to it. I really like that. Like, this is really a standalone record for the band, and it's 4 albums deep. It's fantastic.
I think this is their only good album.
Well, I'm glad you bought it.
I really do, dude. I think this is like their only good album by, like we already said, like a fucking long shot. But I think like what I would rate all 4 of their other albums, I pre-1 because I don't fucking care. I don't think they're good at all. Like, this is this is something special, man. This is something like truly like Pinkerton. There's so much going on in this album, not just lyrically, not just like musically, but just tonally. There's a lot of fucking things here that are very pop, but just like tonally, like, god damn, dude, this is a good, well put together album. You guys thought about this really well. You thought about this really well, I guess. And I think a lot of that too has to do with, right, the whole unmasking of Tobias around this time. And so now I think instead of putting so much energy into your shtick, into your persona, now you can worry about your music. I think that helped a lot.
It did, because it forced him to become a better songwriter, a better musician, rather than kind of hiding behind a facade. But I like that facade. I like the theatrics of it.
It's fine.
I thought the theatrics it was fun because the music didn't match the costume and the makeup and the lore, but it was still endearing. It was still fun. It reminded me a lot of Slipknot in that it was just so over the top. Or I guess, like, you know, you could go back further and throw it to Kiss, but it was just so over the top, and I liked it, and I liked how in this day and age, you know, the 2010s, how hard it is to keep that anonymity, and they did it so well, like astonishingly well. Like, all the band members wouldn't even tell their friends and family what they were doing. Like, that was how dedicated everybody was to this band. And it wasn't, and what I find irritating, I guess it's irritating about the whole lawsuit, the songwriting lawsuit, is that the 4 members that were suing him have 0 songwriting credits. Most of them didn't even play on these records. They were live members. They were essentially not even session members. They were touring members of the band, and these were the guys suing Tobias. And
it's tough.
And in the media was spinning it like Tobias was the bad guy. And there are moments on this record where he kind of loosely makes reference to what was going on during that period. But it's just like, man, dude, it just kind of sucked. It ruined the fun for the band, because I remember I was really into the band at the time, and then all the lawsuits happened, and it didn't ruin it for me, but it just kind of, it lost a little bit of its magic, because it kind of makes you feel like a kid watching this band. Like, who are these guys? What the fuck? Nobody knows anything about them. And then you actually read more into the lore after Tobias had been revealed as the official person, and he was actually the guy. He would do almost all the interviews. Like, you would think the person interviewing them would be interviewing the guitar player, the drummer, whatever, but it was Tobias going out as one of the nameless ghouls. He would dress up as one of them and be one of the guys doing the interview. And nobody would know the wiser. And I fucking loved it.
If you're going to start a project, and this is, you know, the Tobias show, that's fine. That's fine. But you better fucking make goddamn sure that everybody that is a session drummer, musician, touring member, make sure they know that they are signing up to just play your songs. And I think that's the problem. I don't think he ever made it abundantly clear that this is a Tobias project and I'm just allowing you to be here because I need you for this specific part. I think people thought they were part of the band. Lack of communication. Yeah. That's the only thing that from everything that I read, from all the stuff that I read, the past members say, and then Tobias from the beginning thought this was his project. Well, everybody else thought that it was not his project. It
was all a handshake agreement. I mean, Tobias said that after all the lawsuits. He said that there was never any official contracts written up that anybody was in the band.
A handshake agreement is just as good as a contract.
But in the end, it's really not, because all the lawsuits are dropped within a year. Because they had no footing.
Because they didn't write anything. They didn't do anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everything was done. No, there were no.
But that's not a good way to go about business. That's not why you were exposed. Is because you're a shitty businessman. Because you should not have fucking done this in the first place.
I agree. He is a shitty businessman, but he's not a businessman. He's just a guy who's like overly ambitious and a fairly good songwriter. That's all he. That's what he is. Like, he's not a business person. He should have had guidance. He should have had a lawyer. He should have lawyered up. He should.
That's why 4 out of 5 of these albums are fucking garbage. It's because all of these things. Because he's not really good at anything, and even like fucking guitar. Like, he's not that great at guitar.
He's not like
all the little interviews you read. Like, I'm not the great at guitars. I just write my own thing. Oh my god, fuck off.
But I like that. No, I like that. I like the honesty. Because
it's bullshit.
True.
No, that's bullshit. What he says is he says shit like, "Oh, I've never been the guitarist that learns how to play exactly like other guitarists. I play my own style." Bitch, how many fucking people have said that over the course of 40, 50 fucking years? Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're the first person
his point,
to play your own style.
I know.
Piss off.
I know what you're I know what you're referring to. But he was saying that the reason why he never learned how to play these solos is because, one, he didn't really want to, because he didn't have the drive to learn it, and because he knew he wouldn't be able to. He doesn't have the talent to do it.
That's a solo. Come on.
Yeah, but
come on.
Even I agree. The solos are not great. They're cool. They're fun. They're interesting at moments, but they're not from a technical point. They're not great. I mean, I will say though, on Impera, the record that came out after this, technically that is much better.
Yes, he got
guitar
better
playing.
at soloing. Yeah. Yes, he got better at playing the guitar.
And I do like seeing that progression of his guitar playing from Opus through Impera. Like, his guitar playing has improved tremendously from Opus to now.
But don't fucking act like you're paving your own way in rock and roll when really you're a dime a dozen. Yes, that's exactly when you say things like, "I don't try and play like other people. I try and do my own style." Like, fuck you. None of this is unique.
Sound like he's an arrogant asshole.
None of this is unique. He is an arrogant asshole. This whole fucking shtick that he has is arrogant, dude. This entire fucking thing is arrogant. All of this is arrogance. This is his entire like life's work. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb. Okay. It's theatric. It's stage production. It's Bush League. This is high school.
Oh, please.
Oh my God, this is bad.
Shit. Don't give me that shit.
Fuck out of here.
If we were when we were 25 years old, if you and I came up with this idea, like, let's make this extravagant kind of thing, and this and that.
Years old, if we
were more ambitious in music at 25, we could have done something like this, but we were not.
This is like, for me, this is just as frustrating when I learned that, like, even X amount of albums deep, Mark Hoppus still fucking produces nothing by Blink.
Gotta talk about
what the fuck are you fucking doing? Oh my God. Like, come on, man, get better. This band just did not get better ever, except for this album. This is the only album I think. Oh, it's so irritating.
I think if you listen to Impera more, not Paramore, but the album Impera,
I'll do that.
I think you would like it more, because I'm telling you, man, something about this week really struck a chord with me on that record, and I think you'll appreciate it tomorrow.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Yeah, listen to it tomorrow again. Maybe listen to it 5 more times.
Well, I'm not gonna do that.
Not the 8 more times like you did with Dogs.
That was my second, I guess my least favorite Ghost album, I should say.
It's pretty damn good, man.
All right. Well, whatever, dude. Ghost. This band's dumb, man. Everything about this fucking band is so stupid. It's so childlike. It's so.
But I
so
love
based
it.
around a shtick. It's just.
It is. But what I like about it too, like comparing it to Slipknot again, I like that every cycle of the every album cycle is a little bit different. he changes up his persona. He changes his character a little bit. He changes his character entirely, I should say. He changes the costumes of the nameless ghouls on stage.
Oh my god.
I like that. And then not only that, as stupid of a publicity stunt and kind of just playing with the lore as it is, and it's so dumb, but I think it was during the Meliora tour. Maybe it was during the Prequelle tour, but he would hire like pretty women in each city and have them dress up as like nuns and serve booze to people in the crowds, and they would call them the sinful sisters or something like that. And it was just like, it's so stupid, it's so over the top, but that's so cool, dude. Like imagine this, Jeff. Imagine you go to a show, like a small show, like a 500 seater or something like that, a band you've never seen before, and they have this kind of theatric to it. You'd fucking love that shit.
Of course I would love that.
Fucking love it.
But not when you're 4 albums deep.
But they've been doing this since the first record. They've been doing this. They got to keep with the fucking lore. They've been doing this since the first record. Since before 2010, they've been doing this. So don't give me this shit like this is something they just started doing 2 years ago.
This was
fuck out of here.
Dude, it's been the whole band. It's been 8 years since their first album was released.
It doesn't matter. They've still. It does matter
because it's silly.
They've still been doing this shtick. They had never not done this shtick. It's always been a part of the band.
I think it's goofy. I think when you bring up Slipknot, that's not fair because Slipknot are helping define a fucking genre. Slipknot wrote music that is objectively better than this. You go back to Kiss. Kiss helped define a fucking generation, for God's sakes. There would be no Ghost had it not been for Kiss. And I don't even like Kiss.
I agree.
Like these are bands that are just like God tier. Ghost is not even fucking near God tier. Their shtick is corny, it's goofy, it's childlike, and it should have only been done for the first maybe 4 years. It should not have carried on this long. And it should still not carry on this long. Still doing it. Still dumb.
What I was comparing them to Slipknot to was because of the lore. It was the lore. It was the costumes, the outrageousness of it, not the music. Of course Slipknot is way more revolutionary. Of course Kiss did that whole blues rock thing way better, or not way better, but they only define the genre because of their costume.
No, Kiss defined a generation. Kiss defined a fucking a decade.
Okay, yes, exactly. And Ghost obviously is not going to do that same thing because Kiss did that before them. Alice Cooper did it before fucking Kiss. Yes, we all know that they're not doing anything genre defining, but they're still doing it really well. It's just like, it's like you saying you don't like a band because somebody else did it better. That's just fucking silly boy talk.
Because I love Coheed and Cambria. And Coheed and Cambria has arguably like the greatest lore from beginning to end that any band has ever done in the history of bands. Yeah,
if you really kind of when you dive really deep into the whole prog rock part of it, the lyrics, the story, and all that.
Never hit behind a shtick. That's a band that's never hid behind like theatrics.
God.
This is a band that's hiding behind like theatrics. It's just
have some fun.
I did. I had a lot of fun with this album. I bought it on the fucking vinyls. I listened to it today and yesterday when I bought it.
Just have fun with this band. You want to be so critical of them because I've talked about them so much for years that you want to find something wrong with everything. And this is the only album that you can't really find anything wrong with. So it makes you extra mad. So you got to double down on the stuff that you don't like.
They got 5 albums. You
like this one so much.
I love this album. 80% of their music is fucking dumb. Garbage. 20% of their music is pretty goddamn good. Like, how the fuck did you do this, but then also did Meliora? Like, that's what I don't get. But whatever. Let's get into the positives. Let's get. I do want to. Okay, one last thing, which could be a negative or a good thing. Here we go.
I think don't trigger Meliora.
Me. Don't trigger me because I'll go.
I don't think this will trigger you because this is something that would normally trigger me and not you. So after, I believe it was with Meliora, he started to write songs with other people outside of the band. And on this album and Impera, he started working with like a couple other more pop related acts, more popular songwriters. So I'm kind of wondering if that's why this record at Impera differs so much from the first 3 records, is because he's using more outside of the band, more outside of him to help with the songs, people outside of Sweden and more like in America and England and stuff. I wonder how much they actually influenced the overall sound of this record.
I don't know specifically when he was outed and things like that, but That would make sense, right? Now that you've been outed as the guy that fronts Ghost, now you have more clout. Like you can phone, I don't know, Katy Perry, and it would hold more weight than if it's just Tobias from Sweden phoned Katy Perry, right? So maybe maybe that does hold water, because now that people know he is the guy that does Ghost, he's created this universe essentially. That would make sense. I could see that.
Yeah. Yep.
Depending on
All
the
right,
time
so let's jump into Rats, since we already played it.
Rats.
What are your thoughts on this one?
It's my 4B.
This is your 4B. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little wrong, but we'll
It's too high?
move past that. That's too low. It's my 3B.
It's lucky that it's that high. It's 1B higher. What? Fucking guy. Get the fuck out of here. Can't see my hand. I'm doing that. The fuck out of here thing.
Fingers. Three fingers.
I think it's solid. It's solid. I think it drops hard enough from Ashes, like we talked about in the Doom, when I brought the Doom soundtrack, right? When you have a cool fucking intro, and you have like an intro like Ashes, that whole Ring Around the Rosie thing. Like, it's got to drop fucking hard. It's got to drop aggressive. It's got to drop some way that's memorable. I think Rats does that. It's not crazy. It wasn't this like speed metal thing, but it wasn't like this super like slow chuggy like Doom thing either. It was its own thing. It was fine. I get it. I liked it a lot. I think guitar is a cool little riff in there, and the pre-solo part I think was kind of meh, but I think the solo found itself, and it found this like sweet spot. And it's just like, it's like, okay, here's what I can expect from the rest of the album. This solo is dope. And I loved it. I liked it a lot.
So
good.
I really like that kind of pre-solo, that transition solo. I like how just short and sweet it is. Even the main guitar solo is very short, but it hits you in the right spots. It's not overdone. It just shows his talent. He's not the most amazing lead guitar player, but it's still really solid. There's solid leads here, solid guitar solos. I like how the song just starts out. You have that kind of really dramatic intro in Ashes, and then it drops into that kind of big open air sounding drum beat with just the ride cymbal, the bell on the ride, and the bass and the snare, and it's just that really open sound, and then that riff comes in, and it's so Randy Rhoads. I mean, just it doesn't have that Randy Rhoads crunch, but the riff style. Is that even the right way of describing it? The riff style, the style of the riff is very, very, very much Randy Rhoads, and I fucking dig it. And just everything, the pre-chorus that it almost sounds like it's a palm mute where he's kind of building up in that pre-chorus, and then it drops into the Rats, and where he says it he rolls his tongue, he rolls the R, and it kind of echoes, and then it drops into the whoa whoa. It's, oh my god, dude, that build up in the pre-chorus to the chorus is perfect. It's absolutely fucking perfect. The only negative thing I would have to say about this song is the outro, that electronic kind of outro where it's just like that one.
That's the best part of the song.
But it just doesn't make sense. It's just that
it does
that
make
kind of
sense.
electronic single kick drum, and then the dum 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 dum. I like that kind of chugging palm muted guitar part at the end, but the electronic part is a little, I don't know, it's a little weird.
So let's okay, so vocally this song, goddamn, he's so fucking boring.
Get out of here.
It's
God,
so
you're
boring.
so annoying.
God, it's so fucking, it just kills like the vibe for an otherwise perfect song. Kills it. But like let's backtrack a little bit. Conceptually, all of their albums follow a certain theme, whatever that theme may be, good or bad. This one is more in line of specifically like the Black Plague, the bubonic plague, the Black Death, this Renaissance and then into like the Middle Ages era of literally every fucking place in England. So that's kind of where we're at here. I like the outro here because it's blending like new Ghost with that harpsichord, and like the harpsichord. Whenever I hear that, I think this era. I think Renaissance specifically, but Renaissance was a smaller period than like the Middle Ages was. But like when I hear like a harpsichord, anything I think sounds like a harpsichord, that's what I think.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
And I think that's cool. I think that's cool that they're blending like electronic with like the harpsichord. They're saying, hey, We're a new band, but we're going to be talking about some old shit. So let's get into it. I like that. I dig that.
I do too. It's such a killer song. I love just the ridiculousness of the rolling of the R in the rats.
Ah, it's so annoying.
It is so annoying, but it's so fun to sing.
But I think that's,
right?
I fucking hate it. I hate it so goddamn much. But I do it every time.
You only hate it because it's Ghost. I guarantee you, if it's any other band that you like or love, you would be like the coolest fucking thing they've ever done.
Even when I just did it right now, like I grip the side of my chair and like flex my chest upwards and shimmy like rats, like I'm on fucking stage in like a Cat's play or something. It's annoying.
If only we were recording video right now.
Oh yeah, you see the full shimmy there.
Just wait though. We're rolling that out soon. Like I said on the last episode, going to be rolling out video soon. 5, 6, 7 years in the making. We'll get there. We'll get there someday.
We'll get there.
Okay, so what do you have lyrically on this one?
I like on the surface. So like on the surface, these are all going to be about this era, right? The bubonic plague, the Middle Ages. How it spread, why it spread, this song specifically. But I think there's a lot of parallels to like present day society, right? Misinformation. That's like a big, what do you call it? Like buzzword people like to say. Hate. Yeah. All of these things that plague our society now spread in the same way Black Death did. It spreads like fucking wildfire. It spreads faster than anything you could possibly imagine. So I think it's good songwriting.
I think so too. I think the lyrics, I like the lyrics a lot on this. I feel like almost every song has two interpretations. It has like a personal thing with Tobias and like, him, romantically with somebody or with friends or whatever it may be. Like there's always a personal thing, but then there's always an overarching theme or connection to the theme of the album. And I like that. I mean, I think that's solid fucking songwriting, man. I mean, almost every song has that, where it has multiple meanings, and that's what you want. That's really what you want from a lyricist.
But
he does it well. He really does it well.
It's even better because he is not straying from the path of the bubonic plague. Like that is what this fucking album is about. That is like stay in that lane no matter what.
Yeah, but bubonic plague or mass death. That's what it is.
But his word usage, his I don't know, like the way the album kind of like goes in and out of death and life and things like that allow for other interpretations. I think that's great songwriting. To just write a story about one thing, like that's hard to do as it is. Like that's tough. I respect that. But you write a story about one thing, but then kind of like subtly leave the door open for other things. Like that's upper echelon of songwriting.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I
don't know how to explain that fucking correctly, but
it's good. But I think, oh man, I just burped. That was not good.
I will say that this is totally off topic, kind of off topic, but I never even realized until you said it. But Randy Rhoads' guitar tone, I don't like it. It's kind of shit, dude. It's kind of fucking like
it's very high end. Like there's
basic.
No low end to his guitar.
I can't even believe that. I never even like thought about it until you said it. I cannot even fucking believe that Randy Rhoads' guitar tone. Like that's the best. I mean, granted, he died really, really young, but like that's the best you could come up with. What the fuck? For one of the greatest guitarists that's ever lived, like that's your tone? Okay.
I mean, his technical ability. I mean, Randy Rhoads' technical ability and just he was a good songwriter. I just don't think his tone was the best. And
it's never even occurred to me until right now.
Just no low end. There's no low end to his playing, right? Is that what you're getting at?
Absolutely. It's too bright. Yeah. It's too poppy.
It's like the complete opposite of what Tony Iommi was doing in Sabbath. Tony was very much more toward the crunchy, low end, dark tones, but Randy was the complete opposite.
I've never even occurred to me until right now.
But that's what I got.
Crazy,
guitar playing on this one. But also, we'll touch upon it on other songs where I feel like Tobias's lyrics, he's a great world builder. He really is. Like he doesn't have to say a lot, and he's not being so. He's not being too descriptive. He's just throwing out like keyword, like not buzzwords, but like keywords to really kind of build this whole world. And I really liked his lyrics on this record. There's not a lot of them. He repeats himself a lot, but they're still really effective. They're still really, really solid. So
I like them too.
Yeah. So yeah. Do we have anything else on Rats?
No, that's it. That's all. There's only 10
what?
songs. Do you want to just go song by song?
Yeah, I mean, we can go with song by song. I mean, yeah, Rats. Yeah, let's do that.
There's just 10 fucking songs. We're already too deep.
We're too deep. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into Faith.
Okay.
What do you got on this one?
Not a banger for me.
Really? Okay. Wait, how many bangers do you have?
7.
7? Okay, with a question mark. No. Do you have any stinkers?
No. I have 7, maybe 1. Maybe one more. Maybe 8.
Okay, so I have no stinkers. I have 10 bangers. So let's get into Faith.
I have 2 for sure not bangers. One is Ashes because it's an intro song.
I get it. Yeah, that's my 10B. So.
And then Faith. I guess you could say Faith is my least favorite song on the album.
Faith is my 6B. 6B.
Okay.
So what do you have on this one?
Dueling guitars, cool. I like that it dropped
cool.
slower after the dueling guitars part rather than just like double timing, because that's something easy. That's what I expected, right? After that happens, I expected something fast, something aggressive, but it was something different, and I respect that. There's some really cool bass slides on this song, and then dude, the part where he goes like "Faith is mine," and then like his solo's in.
Mine. It's so cool.
God damn, that is equal parts cheese to like fucking. I'm laughing right now. Like I'm smiling right now. It's so fucking dumb. God, I fucking love it. It is really, really stupid.
I love it too. Yeah, it's just and the way the song comes in super heavy. Just the dun, 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 it's just that one big snare hi-hat hit, and then the shredding guitar. And then it goes into that really heavy chugging part. Fucking great, man. It's so good. Really, and just I really appreciated this week hearing all of the guitar leads. Like nothing is over the top, nothing is wanky lead wise. And this is just a great example of that. Just really solid leads during the chorus. The solos are short and sweet, which is good. I did notice too, though, on this song especially, it seemed like there was some insecurity with the solos. Like it's like, oh man, you should have gone this way instead of where you went. I don't know. Otherwise, overall, I don't know. I'm just kind of splitting hairs here. It was good. The bridge is pretty cheesy too, with like the more like devil sounding vocals and the laugh at the end. But then that quick transition with that lead guitar, that transition into the chorus, it's like it's fucking money, dude. It's so good.
It's
good.
It's
except for that cheesy bridge.
It's a solid like cheese song. This is like the cheesiest song on the album. It's full of tricks. It's goofy.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. Even like the dueling guitar parts and the then the outro. Like that's cool. I dig that.
Yep.
I don't know.
And then also the in the choruses there's like some sort of harmonizing. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's vocals or if it's just like the synth to sound like this like chorus thing. But just that vocal harmonizing in the chorus sounds really, really cool. It sounds awesome. And then that organ outro, it's completely unnecessary. It's spooky at the beginning, but then it kind of builds into this uplifting thing, which leads into the next song. Which
I love the transition. I think it matches like the aesthetic
it was a good transition.
Of everything as a whole, and just sequences the album perfectly.
Yeah, especially that part. So lyrically, what do you have on Faith?
I think like conceptually, the song is about like Satan behind like the Black Plague, right? How Satan watches the world burn and just waits for it to crumble, essentially. And the line "Faith is mine," it shows how desperate people become during the plague, and Satan just looking on and sort of laughing, knowing there was like nothing they could be done or nothing they could do because he knows the outcome. But I think on the other hand, if we're talking about like more contemporary thing, like a lot of these songs, I don't know if they're about it, but a lot of these songs you could say they are about the breakup, the lawsuit, the petty online bullshit that Tobias encountered during the recording of this album.
Yeah, I think this is one of the songs that has the double meaning. To me, though, the first meaning would be, you know, kind of to go in line with the overall theme of the record, where I feel like this is about watching the church, about the church just being bad people and taking advantage of those who just don't know any better, whether that be just from their intelligence or ignorance or whatever it may be. Just the church taking advantage of people, and you know, people still having faith in them, even though they're being screwed over and over and over again. They still have faith in the church, not the not faith to a higher being, but a faith in the church. And that's what I feel like he's trying to point out here, is that there's a difference between the church and the actual, you know, higher being, the faith in that. And he's pointing that out and just kind of throwing out, you know, the church doesn't like progression. They don't like change, like in massive scales, so, because they lose a little bit of control. And it's just a giant criticism of that. And pretty much anybody lacking any sort of change, or not lacking any, but criticizing or fearing any sort of change. And then the second meaning, I agree with you. It's kind of a shot at his old bandmates who sued him, and just how kind of the media spun it out of control and made it seem like Tobias was the bad guy. But then he kept faith to his own beliefs that he was right in all of this. And because he kept that faith, he won. He won the battle. And that's what I have lyrically on it. That double meaning. So
it's good. It's good.
Yeah, that's good. So we don't want to play it, right? It's pretty low B for us.
Nah, we shouldn't be playing anything because we get in trouble now, don't we?
Oh, that's true. Even though we already play Rats. But no, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine not playing anything. So let's get into See the Light.
That's true.
I could always cut out Rats. It's fine.
Fucking Tobias better not sue us.
I don't think Tobias would. It would probably be his bandmates who already sued him. They'd probably sue us for some reason. So See the Light. What do you got on this one?
This is the last song that I have that is not a B. This is a maybe
really?
B.
Okay.
It's close. This was close to a B.
This is my 4B.
Damn, Gina.
I really like this song. I know it's a slow one. It's more of a ballad, but damn, dude, it's a killer fucking song. I'm not. You're a ballad man.
Oh, hold on there, Alkaline Trio. Hold on.
That's true, dude. What do you got on this one?
The melody was fine. It's a little bit catchy. I think it wears on you. Like listen after listen after listen. I think it wears on you a little bit more. I enjoyed the synth solo. It was goofy. It was fun. My favorite part of the song is when he rolls his R's in the drink me part.
Drink me.
Like, dude.
The big heavy like
if there was
synth part too is so cool.
If there was like any discrepancy on whether or not this band is, I don't want to say a joke band, but this band doesn't take themselves that seriously, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the goofiness of the rolling of the tongue. It's so over the top. This is the only record I feel he really does it.
I know. He never does this shit. He never makes. If you gave somebody one album, say, hey, listen to this album, what do you think about it? They're always going to think, besides this album, they're always going to think, oh, this band is like way fucking serious. This is a very serious band with all these tones, but like they're not a serious band. But this is the only album that I think that portrays that goofiness properly.
Yeah.
Without getting into it.
And this is one of the songs where there aren't many buildups between the verses and the chorus. The verses are fairly soft, more piano driven, and then they immediately drop into this like heavier, bigger fucking choruses. And I like that. I mean, it's a nice change from the buildup, because you don't, like, if you had a whole album like this, it would just be really just tiring, just dumb. But I just love just every song sounds so different on this record. I fucking love it. And I agree with you. The way he sings the choruses are just asinine, as some might say. And the pre-chorus, I think the pre-chorus might be catchier than the chorus. You know, the every day that you feed me with hate, I grow stronger. It's so fucking
that part I grow stronger. I like that little high thing that I grow stronger.
Yeah, stronger. Oh my god, it's so
it's so dumb.
Everything about this song sounds so elementary, but in all of the best ways. I love it. They're like the Blink-182 of metal music. That's what they are. Like some people say, or even the band Blink says that they're like the nursery rhymes of punk rock, and that's what Ghost is. They're like the nursery rhymes of metal. As stupid as it sounds, that's kind of what they are. They take all the ridiculous parts of it and make something really cool out of it.
Okay.
And this is an example of it.
I don't know if I'm fully on board with that. Like nursery rhymes
mean,
have to be overly aggressively catchy.
But this is pretty damn catchy.
But like,
With
is it
the
catchier than
ridiculousness of it? The
is it catchier than Iron Man? Iron Man is the catchiest metal song of all time. That's fact. Fact.
Okay, well, it's not, but that's fine.
That's fact. Name one song catchier than Iron Man. Metal.
Crazy Train?
No, come on.
Crazy Train is catchier than Iron Man. Come on, get the fuck
How does
out
it
of here.
go?
We'll get you. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Going off the rails on a crazy train.
And then you do the guitar part.
Sing
No,
crazy. Sing Iron Man.
Are you kidding me?
Are you yoking my ass?
You can just say it and hear it. I am Iron Man.
Iron Man.
You even when I just say it like as monotone as possible, you cannot help but sing in your mind.
Only because everybody's heard it 1,000 times.
It's the catchiest metal song of all time.
Anyway, 0-2. What do you have lyrically on this one?
I thought See the Light. It was about negativity in general, how negativity feeds like this passion and turning the bad into like motivation for good. I like this songwriting. I mean, it flows nicely. It has a lot more. There's a lot of nods to like deeper, like kind of like deeper cut religious themes.
Mm-hmm.
Like just naming things. But I
that's
don't
as far
think,
as it goes.
Exactly. I don't think there's anything deeper than that than just like naming shit. Like when you're in a conversation with somebody and like, oh, do you like metal music? And they just start spewing out names.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, like, do you really listen to that band? Like, do you really know fucking Sepultura? Or are you just like saying that?
Just being cool, yeah.
Which I don't listen to Sepultura. That's why.
Which is kind of like
a
gatekeepy thing to do. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he was doing it as a gatekeepy thing here.
No.
I just think this is that's why it was almost a B for me, because I think musically it was really cool, but like coming off of like Faith, which I thought was a really cool lyric song, and then going into like Miasma, which was pretty fucking dope.
Pretty cool. I'm excited to get into that.
Pretty good.
But lyrically, I mean, I agree with you on that. I feel like it's just he's pretty much just talking about all the negativity and all the things that are thrown at him that really kind of bring him down, and making that turning that into a positive thing, and trying to be a better person trying to become a better person despite all that. And but then some people claim that it's about him taking a shot at former bandmates, which it might be, but whatever. Who cares? I'm ready to move on.
I think that's like inevitable. I think like at this time, I think no matter what you write, people are going to dissect it in various ways. But I don't think Tobias is that petty. I just don't.
I don't think so either.
I think he wants to write an album that's good, that he perceives as good. I think the bandmates things are secondary.
From what I remember about Ghost of this era and prior to this, the Ghost fandom was very oh my god, what am I trying to say?
Like protective.
What?
Like protective? I could see them being like protective.
It was protective, but it was also very. They were. What am I trying? Not like fan art, but very like people were making fan art and were making like creating this kind of lore that didn't exist. Like they were making cartoons and stories between the members that didn't exist, and like people were like obsessing over these nameless ghouls and like who they actually were, and they were creating these whole worlds around these individuals that we know nothing about. Like the fandom was kind of out of control at the time, and I feel like because once the lawsuit happened, it made all of that lore kind of crash and burn. This completely made up lore by fans crash and burn, because prior to all the lawsuits, the band came off as like being friends and being like this very cohesive, positive unit. But then once this happened, I felt like it destroyed, at least from what I was seeing from a lot of
it's
people.
Like watching your parents get a divorce, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like.
World crushing.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like. It was very, very bizarre.
And it's stupid. It's stupid as fuck. I don't fucking care. But like I understand like how it could have affected like Tobias's psyche, right? Like he he tried so hard to build this world, a dumb world, but he tried so hard to build this world.
God, dude.
It just came crashing down.
Dude, you want to hate this. You want to hate him so bad. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Stupid. It's just fucking, in the grand scheme of things, it's dumb.
If any band you loved did something like this, you would be just fawning over it. You would just be out of your fucking mind positive about it. But because you want to hate this band so much, you want to throw in those little remarks.
Yeah.
Just to throw them in there.
I can't be too positive all the time. Which is funny because like adding those little remarks after something nice, first of all, completely negates like the nice thing that I just said. Yeah. But it's even more like detrimental. It's even more like abusive than just saying nothing at all. Like saying something nice and then something very, very aggressively mean is worse than saying nothing at all.
Oh yeah, totally.
And that's what I do. And I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it.
I know you are. I know. So let's move on to Miasma. The first instrumental, which is so cool that they have any instrumentals on this record. It's fantastic. So what do you think of it?
It's my 2B.
This is also my 2B. Miasma is fucking something special. That's
it is.
For sure.
It is. There's a lot of fucking really, really rad parts of this. The guitar riffs, dude, just add a little bit of melody. There's a lot of cool noodling. Even the synth, dude. Even the synth parts are really cool. Didn't mind them at all. But that fucking sax solo, that's what makes this song, is the sax solo. Oh my God. It's so aggressive. It's so loud. It's so obnoxious.
So unexpected. They've never done anything like this. I remember specifically where I was at when I heard this sax solo. That's how jarring it was for me. I was out running my normal run around the dry lake bed in Yorba Linda. And I was listening to this song and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty cool instrumental. You know, I was getting into it while I was running, and then that sax hit and I literally stopped. I stopped. I just stopped. It was so jarring. Like you said, it's just so loud. There's no reason for it. There's no reason. And then it goes and it rounds out the whole song. That last kind of like over the top, cheesy kind of wanking thing that the sax does. Oh, it's so dumb, but I fucking love it. This is a perfect example of a band that's metal at heart but loves 80s music, because when I heard that sax solo, the first thing I thought was Men Down Under. That fucking terrible but iconic fucking sax intro to that song. Gotta hate it, but I also kind of love it. But that's what I thought when I heard this song, and it dug into me. But he plays the sax super well. It's not too wanky, but it's also not boring enough to where I'm losing interest. Yeah, it's like this weird. It's not like this jazz fusion thing, which it could have really dropped into. But yeah, it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. And the whole instrumental, is just a buildup for like 5.5 minutes. It's just this constant buildup. But then when it picks up at the 3-minute mark is when it really kind of, I don't want to say it double times, but it does pick up a little bit there. And then that's when you start to get the little bit of the wankiness in the guitars and especially in the synth. And it's really the 3-minute mark that really, outside of the sax, that 3-minute mark is where it gets super exciting, because it could get kind of tiring hearing kind of that same buildup. That kind of chugging, kind of open note thing, the chugging, open note thing, chugging, open note thing, with a little flourishes thrown in there with the guitar and synth. But god damn, dude, once they really started going for it, it was fucking incredible. I fucking love this song. And the drums, gotta talk about the drums. Those fills are extremely tight.
They're tight, yes. Yep.
They're tight, and they're a little complicated. They're not your normal, I don't even know what to call it, but your normal fills. Like, there's something a little bit more churched up about it. But my god, they're extremely tight, and I fucking love it.
I feel like when I listen to music and I air drum, which I'm not a great drummer by any fucking means, but when I hear somebody play a fill on the drums, I know what they're doing. I can't execute it. I can't do it in like real time. But like, I know how to mime it. I know like what they're doing. I know all of the parts of the drum they are hitting. And But like if it's too crazy, like some of the stuff like Neil does and like Rush, like some of that shit, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, dude. It's too fast. It's too complicated. I can't even get behind it.
Yeah.
But like I want that middle ground. I want that middle ground of stuff that just blows my mind, but then also to where like I can like mime it on my hands. And this fits that like perfectly.
Yeah.
To where I think I could play it live, which I deep down I know I can't, but I know what's happening. Therefore, I can appreciate it more.
Exactly.
Like everybody knows. Everybody knows. I love the Foo Fighters and Taylor Hawkins. Probably my favorite band of all time. Every one of his stuff, I could play on the fucking drums. So I'm just saying.
You're so obnoxious.
What? That's my favorite fucking band of all time.
I'm trying to look up who played drums on this. I know it's some guy who has like no Wikipedia. I just want to throw his name out there because he really fucking nailed it on the drums. It's Ludwig Kenberg. That's who played drums on this record.
Yeah,
Ludwig. Yeah, that's
okay
exactly
for sure.
Don't be fucking annoying.
No, I know. I thought I read that like when Tobias wanted someone to play drums in a specific way, he would just call a session musician to come over and play the drums the specific way that he wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, he said that he wanted he said multiple times that he just wanted somebody to come in, have no influence on the record, just come in and out, that's it. And that's what this, especially this performance is. I imagine they only spent like a day on the drums.
That's what Ludwig did, record. Sure.
Yeah, Ludwig Kenberg. So
okay,
he killed it. He really killed it on this song. Really, all the songs. There are moments that remind me a lot of Josh Freese. Some a little bit more unconventional, open sounding styles that Josh is he doesn't in a lot of his work. But so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh played on this record because there's a lot of shit like that. Those tight fills like that. That's right up Josh's alley. So good.
Dude, that would just fucking... If it came out of Ludwig von Klaus, whatever the fuck his name was, if it came out that was like a pseudonym for Josh Freese, you'd fucking die.
Yeah, oh yeah, I would. Yeah,
we would be having Tyler Rebecca Ansed's funeral because you would just die.
I would. I'd be so... But then I fucking called it.
You'd fucking die. You piece of shit would fucking
That'd be
die.
so sick. But right, I mean, because you know Josh Freese well enough. Like those fills are I mean those are Josh Freese fills.
Yes, no, they really are.
That's the kind of shit he plays.
When
he plays more
studio
mid-tempo
drummer
songs.
standpoint, that's what he. But you hear it like on the format, like when he played in the format, right? All those like weird fills on pop songs that are strictly fucking pop songs. He's adding stuff to it, even though he doesn't fucking remember it. Apparently, he's adding stuff to it that nobody could have played on that record.
Yeah. No, you're right. To make something as simple as what is on that format record, as simple as it is, he makes it a little bit exciting.
Even that like double snare he does on Lifestyles by Good Charlotte, right? That like that little thing right there. It's just
it should sound, and like with Lifestyles from Good Charlotte, it's just that doom gat doom gat doom gat doom gat. Like, what are you doing? Like that, or are we like 14-year-olds? Like 14-year-olds like playing drums for the first time in a punk band? Like it's just so stripped down. Like he knows when to play stripped down to something. I love it, man. Oh man, Josh Freese,
it's good.
Something else. But anyway, Miasma. Are we good? Are we good with this song? Should we move on?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so the next song is Dance Macabre. What do you have on this one?
What B is this for you?
That was my 1B.
Oh my god, this is my 1B too.
This is like without a doubt, dude. This is my 1B.
This song is what changed my mind. Yeah. Oh my god, I played this at the record store and I was like, that song's pretty fucking good. And I usually make a note like a happy face and like go back to this song. And then when I played this on my downstairs speakers, loud as fuck, and like doing chores, and this song came back on. Dude, this song blew my mind. This song is so fucking good. This is the goofiest song on the album.
Yes.
But it's by far the most fun song that they've ever done.
Yeah, you're totally right. Outside of, did you listen to Square Hammer?
Yes, that was a fucking banger of a song too. A lot of their B-sides are fucking bonus songs. Are
Square
so
Hammer
good.
Is probably, I would say, I don't know if it's I think it might be my favorite Ghost song. Square Hammer is fucking a beyond banger, but Dance Macabre,
Holy
dude, this one,
shit, this song was good.
the Dance Macabre is just straight up an 80s metal song, but like I said, taking the best out of 80s metal and throwing it into a song, that's what this song is. They got rid of all the fluff and just took the best of it, man. I fucking love it. The guitar riff is so simple and so cheesy, and that single bass drum building in that intro. Oh my god, dude! And then the little piano parts, kind of accenting the vocal melody in that in the verses. Such a nice touch. So
this song made me go down the rabbit hole of learning what exactly a tritone is. And you think I've always heard it, and I've always heard of musicians incorporate the tritone. And this song was like, what the fuck? Like that, I don't know, that it got me into it. And so I watched a lot of YouTube videos over this past week. I feel like I have a firm grasp on it. I don't think it's that difficult of a concept, but I really got into it. And it's fucking dope.
Well, explain it.
The tritones, it's two notes. It's not three notes, it's two notes. So the tritone is essentially, you split like an octave in half, right? So you're going up 6 half steps. And it's always easier to just do it on a piano, like look at a piano and just go up, hit like a C and then go 6 half steps up and hit that other note. And so that note is essentially, let's say, it's the build up. It's the build up. So like establishing key, when you want to establish key in music, you can hit like a tritone before it. And it's like whatever that sound is, you just inherently want relief. You just like, I want that fucking note afterwards. And then you hear that relief afterwards. And like, that's the key of the song. That's the key of the music. That's the key of the composition. But the one before it, that's a tritone. And the tritone, lore-wise, was banned for many years in like the Renaissance era, the Middle Ages, which it wasn't. Just nobody fucking used it. Because when you play music in this era, and like, god damn, this is what I'm going. I'm emanating with positivity here because I'm just so excited to explain this. When you were playing music in the Middle Ages into the Renaissance, you were playing music for God, right? You were pleasing God with the best music that you could possibly do. Everything is just major chords. Everything is just so happy. The tritone is nasty. It sounds gross. It's on its own. It sounds like shit. You need relief afterwards. So it wasn't banned, but people didn't use it because it didn't fit the profile of pleasing God with great music. And so it's kind of ominous. It's kind of it's kind of ominous, dude. It did sound like that. So, so like just like overall, man, it's just like this whole thing. This matches the fucking tone, and he does play the tritone in there. You can hear the tritone in the piano.
Oh man, dude, that's so sick.
It's fucking unreal. It's something so basic in like Western like music and Western culture. We take it for granted constantly, and some of the shit that I love, like about Weezer. Dude, the relief at the end of Only in Dreams.
I know.
Like that's precipitated. That's precipitated by the tritone. So there's a lot of like really, really cool stuff that is going on in this song that is like, I don't know if it has to be intentional. It fucking has to be intentional, right? There's no fucking way.
No, it has to be. I feel like this record, I mean, I didn't take a deep dive down every record, but this one seems so thought out, from the themes to, oh my God, dude, everything about that. It's just, I mean, Tobias really outdid himself on this record. I truly believe it. From musically, lyrically, structurally, like everything everything on this record has a purpose through and through. And I think that's absolutely incredible.
And the whole concept of like Dance Macabre, the concept of kind of like, we're all going to die anyway. No matter what, we're all going to end up as skeletons. Our skeletons will look the same. No matter if you're a king or a slave, you will end up the same. That's a humbling thing. The whole like concept. And I think the second half of this album is so much fucking better than the first half, which is a weird thing to even do because so often, more often than not, we talk about albums being top heavy. This is one that I think is fucking bottom heavy.
Musically or lyrically?
Both. I think it just gets better and fucking better and better. And like Dance Macabre, This is a concept of memento mori. These whole stupid fucking carpe diem. I hate fucking using these cliche quips and things like that because it's just so goofy.
Yeah.
But like, and then this whole thing was based. I don't know. This wasn't based around a tone poem.
It was based more around an idea of the dance macabre, which is spelled with an S rather than a C. And then from what I was reading more about it, and it translates to a dance of death. And this dates back to the Middle Ages, more specifically this era, the Black Plague. And then how a lot of people were writing poems, stories. They were, their paintings depicting, this dance macabre. And then there was also music too. Like there was something. Did you listen to that song? That one song.
Of course, I fucking listened to that goddamn
that song. Was sick,
Are you
right?
kidding me? It was amazing.
It was a song composed back in the 1800s. I can't remember who composed it originally, but
it starts off with fucking 12 Ring of the Church Bells. That's Ghost, bro. That is a fucking better Ghost song than 80% of Ghost albums.
That's what I'm saying. Like every song, everything about this record is so steeped in this like crazy Black Plague Middle Ages lore that you have to take a deep dive into it. Like I don't know that much. I'm not an expert on that part of history, but the little bit that I've read and the connection between some of these songs with that is just, damn, dude, it's so cool. It's so fascinating.
And
I love it.
That song specifically, it's an orchestral song. It's made for specific instruments, and the violin comes in first after the church bells, after the ding 12 times, which is kind of cool, right? Because 12, like indicating this is midnight. The clock struck 12. Therefore, something bad is going to happen. The first thing you hear from the violin, tritone. Fucking first thing you hear, and like this tritone's not. You ask any like music major, anybody like way more into music than we are. Yeah, that's whatever. Poo-poo it away. I don't give a fuck, dude. I got into it this week and it blew my mind. Oh my God, it was just so good. And this song did it for me. This song did it for me.
The song is something else, man. When you have such a pop-oriented song, and you compare it to the theme and the lyrics of it, it's completely, it's a 180 from one another. It's a complete opposite. It's fucking fascinating.
And I think lyrically, it's the only song on the album that it's a little bit different. I thought this is a love song. This is a sappy love song. It's about two people
it's about being
just
dumped.
wanting to fucking spend like their last moments together, knowing they're gonna die. Dance macabre. We're all gonna die anyway. It's good. It's good.
So I feel like I get what you're saying. Like it's the last moment between like two lovers and everything like that. But I thought it, from a more personal standpoint, I thought it was him being dumped. Like him wanting to hold on to that last strand of hope and positivity with her, and like he's still so in love with her, but she's nothing. She's to her the relationship is cold and it's dead, and that's kind of what that goes in line with the whole Black Plague theme of everything is dying around you, but you still have hope. Like there's still that sliver of hope that something positive is going to come out of this, even though death and death surrounds you. That's where I feel like those are the two meanings of the song, to me at least, and that's how they both relate to one another.
Dude, and the single
it's that
fucking
hope, that sliver of hope.
Dude, the single artwork, like with the two ghost characters dancing over the dancing on the corpse's ashes. So good. It looks so good.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's my 1B, like by far. It wasn't even a fucking question.
I agree with you. This is my 1B as well. And just the way, so lyrically too, when he sings he sings just wanna bewitch you in the moonlight. Until this week, I thought he was saying bewitch you, like the slang, like WITCHU.
Oh yeah.
And I just never thought, he was actually saying he was saying bewitch you.
The TV show
Bewitch
You.
I don't know. I just never put that together. So I always thought he was using the slang, and I thought just how stupid it was that he was using this stupid slang of witch you. And then reading about what the actual reading the actual lyric, I thought this is even better. This is even cool. This is so fucking rad. God damn, dude, the way he sings the pre-chorus too, it just, how could it end like this? Like just his, oh my, I can't even try to sing like him. It's so fucking awesome. It's so awesome.
It's a good, pretty
man.
goddamn good, dude. It's pretty.
That build up, man.
Pretty
that's
good.
some like, that pre-chorus is some Tom DeLonge shit. It really is. Where the pre-chorus is better than the actual chorus itself. That's what it is, dude. Well,
I don't disagree.
Oh man, excellent.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's fucking great. All right, so are we good with Dance Macabre?
Yeah.
All right, so we're all good with that one. Let's move on to Pro Memoria.
Memoria.
Premoria. I don't know how to pronounce it. What do you got on
close.
this one?
It's my 3B.
Really? That fucking high? Holy shit!
This is my 3B.
It is my 5B. So,
what is your least favorite song?
I mean, besides Ashes, because it's an intro, Life Eternal, the final song, which I still love.
Okay.
But it's my least favorite.
Okay.
So, let's get into Pro Memoria.
Pro Memoria. I like this melody. It reminds me a lot of Donnie Darko. Right? I don't know. That's the vibe that I got. I really, really do enjoy it. When he sings the Your Friend Death part, dude, that's like one of my favorite like vocal parts on the album.
I know, it's so good, right?
God, it's so fucking catchy. It's so goofy, but it hits pretty hard. I like the piano playing. The piano playing super solid. It's a good heavy ballad song. It's a good heavy ballad song.
It's definitely the best ballad song on the record. I mean, it starts out with that classical, like the first 30, 45 seconds are that classical bit, which reading more about it, they were doing that live for a couple of years prior to open up the shows and whatever. And then he wanted to do it. He wanted to put it on a record, and eventually it ended up on this. And then it just drops into that kind of piano driven. Yeah, I guess it's just piano driven verse. And then it just drops into that extremely catchy chorus that, oh my God, dude, I love it. It always gets stuck in my head. Every time I listen to it, it gets stuck in my head.
Because you're hitting buzzwords, right?
Yeah.
When you hit buzzwords like dying, death, things like that, you listen. It's human nature. Yeah. We just listen. When someone says, don't forget about dying, it's like, oh, what? Dying? Like, don't forget about your friend death. Like, we listen. We remember. That's why it's catchy.
It's also the way he says the last word of each of those lines, don't you forget about dying. Like he really kind of enunciates the word, and then your friend death, and he kind of draws out the death, and then don't you forget that you will die. Like he has that lower part, or he sings it a little bit lower when he sings die.
There's three parts to that. There's three parts to that chorus. And when he says don't you forget about dying, like he's like, hey dude, don't fucking forget that you're gonna die. Like it's kind of in the higher registered, almost nasally, kind of like nagging, reminding you not to be a douchebag. I guess it goes into like lyrically thing too. And says, don't you forget about your friend death. Like he enunciates the death part to where it's like, hey dude, don't forget about dying, or like don't forget like you get the word tomorrow, so don't fucking drink tonight. Like that's a very definite, that's a very matter of fact statement. And the last part, don't you forget that you will die. He says that kind of like he feels bad for saying it. Like,
I feel like it's more like a threatening. Don't you forget that you will die. Like it's like threatening. Like if you don't stop, something bad's gonna happen.
Oh,
I view it as more of a threat.
I saw those three parts but I regardless of the dying, death, die, I saw those as three different parts of the chorus, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah. It is really cool. Even the verses too. The way he sings it in a much, not much higher, but in a higher, I guess, octave. Is that the right word? Especially as you get into the second verse, I feel like he sings the second verse higher than the first verse. He says, I can't even try to sing how he sings. Yeah. No, I can't even do it. It's just it's kind of this weird, very, very slight buildup in his vocals, but then. I don't know, man. It's just a killer fucking song.
Love it.
Just the choruses, man. The choruses are absolutely just. I would say the chorus on this might be one of the best parts of this whole album.
I think it's the easiest to digest. It's the easiest to get into. It's the easiest to remember. But I think that's because of the choice words. But the choice words are there because he chose those words. Those are deliberate attempts at making something catchy, memorable, a lasting impact.
I also like how the organ kind of harmonizes with the vocal, that vocal line too. It's pretty fucking good in the choruses. That organ, it's just sitting there in the back, but it just really just harmonizes with it. If that's the right, I think that's the right word to use. And then in the second verse too, like you're expecting the second verse to drop in with kind of the piano driven stuff, which it is more piano driven, but then the full band comes in, the bigger, heavier drums, a lot more background vocals coming in. But I think it's more of a synth. Like a lot of the background vocals I feel on this record are actually the synth. Don't you agree with that?
There's a lot of synth here, but I don't know. I want to believe that the synth that we hear is the only synth on the album, because when we do hear the synth, it's fucking deliberate, dude. It's like, it's aggressive. It's clearly a fucking synth.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of like Wendy Clear shit type of synth.
Well, no, not like that. Not like, I'm talking about like
production wise, I don't hear a lot of like masking bullshit synth. It's fucking there.
Okay. Because I was kind of thinking like possibly like the woes, some of the woes, and the more the core like choir sounding stuff was actually a synth, like actually played through a synthesizer and not an actual person singing it. That's kind of how I feel with parts of this song and some of the other songs too. But there's some good guitar leads on this as well. That guitar solo in the bridge, the way the piano and the string synths kind of complement that guitar solo is perfect, because the guitar solo by itself isn't spectacular, but you have everything else, accenting it, and it's perfection. It's great. Good stuff.
I agree. I think like the added chuggy guitars as background parts rather than like parts that drive the song forward. I think that works because I don't know, it allows the song to be softer and more melodic. It allows everything to build up to that chorus. And that chorus is very soft, even though it's all death. It's very soft. It's very kind of dainty. It's very angelic almost, right? Very,
musically it's angelic, but lyrically and the way he's vocalizing it is kind of menacing. Especially lyrically, it's very menacing. But
I don't think it's a negative thing. I think the song is just about like, don't fucking forget, dude, you're gonna die.
But
not
in
the sense of a carpe diem
negative
thing. But like, we all are going to die, like, no matter fucking what. Like, I don't think it's a negative thing that you're going to die. I think it's just reminding you, like, I don't know, whatever you want that to believe. I don't think the song is anything else other than don't forget you're gonna die. I don't think it's negative or positive. Yeah. Take from that what you will. Either like, don't be a douchebag because you're gonna fucking die too, or like, don't waste your life. The carpe diem, you're gonna die too. I just think it's just reminding you that you are going to fucking die.
Yeah, that's what I think he's talking about. On like a contemporary personal level, but kind of going along with the story of the time period. Some people have said that it could be about like a conqueror who's committed many crimes and sins, feeling like they're invincible. Nobody can defeat them. But the devil's always there, just behind him, kind of whispering in his ear, just saying, don't you forget, like, you aren't invisible. Like, you're gonna meet your maker, to some extent. And
so it's so good.
It's really good, man.
I like that idea. Like, this song is from the perspective of death, Grim Reaper, Lucifer. Who the fuck you want it to be? It opens up with Lucifer.
Yeah, and like going in the theme with the Black Plague, like that the disease didn't spare anybody, no matter what your class in life was or who you were. The disease was an equal opportunity offender. It affected everybody. So even though you could be the king, you could be this really important person, but the disease can still find you. And this is like you said, this is death talking to that person that feels like, or that is on top of the world, that is the ruler of the world or the ruler of the kingdom, but it could still take him out. Like, you cannot defeat me. That's always there. I think it's a great thing to add to the whole to the whole lore, the theme of the record. It's fantastic.
The whole concept of death in general is always a fun topic to get into, and especially like the I don't want to say arbitrariness of death, but the, like you said, the equal opportunity employer of death.
Yeah.
Right? Like, dude, I don't care how, like, what fucking lifestyle you live. Like, death is deaf, dumb, and blind to whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's humbling.
It is. It is. Nobody's invincible, which we'll get into in a later song because there is a song that talks about that. Let's get into Witch Image. What do you think of this one? Where does this one sit for you?
This is my 6B.
Okay, this is my 7B.
Okay. Yeah. This one giving me heavy like 80s pop vibe to it. Like specifically when bands try and do that 80s sound in a very more contemporary setting. Think like Black Audio. Like that type of thing. Not bad. It's whatever. It's fine. I like the vocal melody. I think it's fun. I like the guitar note matching or like hitting the notes on the offbeat under the lyrics. I think that part was so cool. But then that bass line, dude, that bass line is so fucking rad. One of the best bass lines in the album.
And also the bass slides too.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so squirrely.
It is. And he doesn't do it often. That boom, boom.
Bam.
It's fucking good, man. It's killer. I mean, in the end, this is more just like a mid-tempo song, not super heavy. But the chorus gets me every time on this one. It has that big soaring feeling to it. I just love the simplicity of all of it. You know, the riff is super simple. The harmonizing of the vocals and the guitar is simple, but it's effective and it's fantastic. And especially in that pre-chorus, the interplay between the guitar riff and the vocals in the chorus is fucking killer as well. The only kind of negative thing I would have to say about this is I wish the chorus was a little bit longer. Like if that melody was drawn out a little bit more, it could have been a better song, but it's still fucking awesome. Love it.
It's good. It's good.
Also, something that's so bad that I would normally hate in any other song, it sounds so cool in here. That transition out of the bridge into that chorus, that overly, I guess the best way to describe it is that overly chorused sounding drum tone of the snare and everything.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that sound so much, but it sounds perfect in the context of this song because that's what this band does, is cheesiness, and they do it so well. And I
it's
love
so
that.
deep in the album. It's not like the first fucking track. It's so deep in the album. We're already exposed to so much of that same sound, not as egregious as that is, but we're already exposed to it, and it's fine. I don't hate it.
Yeah. Yep. So I think this is a killer song. Lyrically, what do you have on this one?
Another one about death, about the Grim Reaper coming for souls. Like no matter, I don't know, the inevitability of death is what the song's about.
So this is one of my favorite songs lyrically on this. I feel like the kind of world building, the imagery that he sings about, I think it's done so well. The one part about sleeping with the rotting flesh was just, it's like sleeping in your earthly desires next to the rotting flesh or something like that. Yeah. While you're
someone's flesh is rotting next to you tonight.
Yeah. While you sleep in earthly delight, someone's flesh is rotting tonight, like no other to you. What you've done, you cannot undo. But those first two lines, I just, goddamn, it works so well with that, the Black Plague thingy, because everybody back then was just thinking like, this could be my last day here, and everybody around them is dying, and the smell of just death, the smell of fucking death is there, and just I can't imagine how horrific that was. But then it just becomes, but then at some point it becomes normal, you know, it becomes everyday life, and you just have to learn to live with it, and just I cannot imagine what that's like. And
we can't. You cannot imagine what that's like. No fucking way.
Nobody in living memory has gone through something like this.
Because we're so far advanced. We are so fucking far advanced from that shit, right?
Yeah.
Like if everybody is dying, if everybody is dropping like flies, and then back then they're head to the church. Everyone's going to the church because then God's mad at them. So that's spreading it even fucking more. Hygiene. fucking almost non-existent at that time. Like it's just it's unfathomable how terrible that was.
And the lyrics remind me. They immediately, when I was really kind of reading into them, they immediately made me think of the book, The Interview with the Vampire, which I know you've never read the book. But
no, that's a movie. Why the fuck would I read the book?
You've seen the movie though, right? With Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Nicole Kidman.
Oof. Nicole Kidman's on in it.
Yeah, she is. That's not Nicole Kidman? Not. That's Nicole Kidman, bro.
No, she's not. No. Nicole Kidman's not in Interview with the Vampire. But Kirsten Dunst is in it, and she's a child in it.
Oh, yeah.
And she plays the character Claudia, who eventually becomes they turn her into a vampire, selfishly turn her into a vampire. I mean, just one of the greatest books ever written. I love that book. And it's a great movie, too. But the what he's singing about in this immediately made me think of that scene where fucking not Lestat, but I can't even think of his fucking name right now. Louis, whatever, Brad Pitt's character in the movie. They find Claudia in the house, and her whole family is dead. Her mom had just died probably like a week prior, and Claudia's just sitting there. This little innocent child is sitting next to her dead mother, who's just rotting away, and she's just clinging on to her mother like her mother's going to do something, and she has nothing to live for anymore, and it's like absolutely heartbreaking. And in the book, it's so heartbreaking. And the movie, Kirsten Dunst does a killer job of, conveying that emotion. It's so fucking sad. And then they have to decide, do we make her into a vampire? But just like that whole, just that people were going through, innocent fucking children are going through this, seeing their entire family die, and then they're left alone.
Yeah, it's true. There's a goofy that part where Brad Pitt hates that fucking like mummified vampire thing, and it just turns to like ash. Like that was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I always laughed at that part, but that was good.
But that part with Kirsten Dunst, when they find her, it's so fucking sad. But that's the first thing that came to my mind when I was reading through these lyrics, and those specific lines on the chorus or pre-chorus or whatever it is. It's good though.
Movies in the 90s were funny.
What do you mean they were funny for the most part?
God, Brad Pitt was legit. Still is legit.
He is. He's great. He's a great fucking actor. Anyway, 0-2. Let's move on from.
Say it.
What?
The next song.
The next song. Helvestus Fonster.
Damn, that's pretty good.
No idea if that's. I'm sure I butchered that.
I'm leaning closer into my computer to see if I could have said it better than that. But
Helvestus Fonster.
Is that how you said that? O with the umlaut above it?
I'm reading it without the umlaut, so I have no idea.
Helvetus Funster?
Funster? A Funster. Helvestus Funster. Helvestus Funster. I don't know. I don't know how to read the umlaut. But this is the second instrumental track. The title translates to Hell Window. It's Swedish, but
let's get into those lyrics first because it's fucking dumb. But
there are no lyrics.
But how does Hell Window? Did you read what Hell Window means?
According to Genius lyrics, it says during the Middle Ages, women used to wear dresses and overcoats with wide side openings. These openings allowed sinful men to take a peek at women's breasts, and therefore they also see their eternal damnation from sinning, hence a window to hell.
Bullshit.
That's
bullshit.
Is it? Okay, I don't know. That's as
because
far as
I fucking scoured, dude. I really tried to scour to see if that was a thing.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would people wear? So essentially, you're a woman. You're wearing a dress with the side that's slit from your armpit down to your waist. Let's say. Yeah. Obviously, there's no pictures back then of from today, but everything I've seen has women wearing a t-shirt underneath that same dress. You wear a long sleeve t-shirt underneath that dress. Every fucking thing that I ever seen. I never saw anything else that supported that. So I don't like that because I think it's bullshit.
Well, even with the t-shirt, maybe that's sinful right there.
Yeah, I guess t-shirts can be sinful.
Maybe. We don't know. We didn't live.
No, you're right. I was not there. That's true. Maybe they were in corn t-shirts and shit. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
whatever. It's instrumental. The hell window thing. I think it's just a cool word. I think it's cool to say hell window. I don't think there's any deeper meaning to it. I for sure don't buy into that side boob shit. For sure don't buy that stuff. But
okay, I mean, I didn't dive too deep into it, so I can't argue.
I was mad. I was mad, Ty. I was mad.
I'm mad. All right, so I mean, like we said, this is an instrumental. It starts with that flute, the synth, the piano, the drums kick in. Nice little build up here. The song drops into a heavier part, some cool guitar playing, and then at 2:24, holy shit, that drop, that silence, and then the piano comes in, that dun 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 dun. It's just that staccato thing. Oh my god.
Well, don't forget, dude. That so first, let's rewind. Rewind a little bit. There's some leftover melody here from Pro Memoria, right? They're reusing some of the melody from that song. Dope, like that. And then there's some cool time signature changes. They go into waltz like 2 times.
Yeah,
and it's
especially
that
before
3-beat, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. That's a waltz, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool because it's easy to change into a waltz, but it's also very much of like this time period. I would think. I don't know. I didn't see side boob at this time, nor did I participate in any kind of dances at this time. But I think that's what happened at this time. But then the whole which I think was what he was talking about, the nylon string guitar solo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the guitarist from Opeth, like that was
Mikhail Ackerfeld, something
sure,
like that.
the guy from Millencolin, same guy. He called in backup because he couldn't quite get the sound right. He just wasn't quite good enough, and I think it just. Dude, I think it slayed. I think it fucking slayed. That is the best part of the song for me. Was that really solo? Cool. It's very like middle age to Renaissance vibey, and I think it keeps a darker, somber tone of the album while adding a little bit of complexity, a little bit of prog, a little bit of lightheartedness. God damn, it's so good.
I'm with you on that one. And like his whole part, I mean, because he plays the solo, but then it kind of drowns out into this outro, and it's like a good minute and a half, I believe.
Yeah. To
round out the song, it's I don't think it's as good as Miasma as an instrumental, but it has some really, really great parts. It's just not as exciting.
The church bell to end the song, like just that one last hit. Like, come on, dude. We're still like, don't forget, dude. This is still a concept album, and that church bell is there to remind you of that.
And then you hear another church bell in the last song in Life Eternal.
Oh, so good.
It's great. It is. So do we have anything else on
no,
Elvis Fonster?
Elvis Fonster.
Elvis Fonster.
Oh.
Elvis Fonster.
Elvis Funster. Elvis was Elvis Funkhauser.
This is stupid.
Let's get into Life Eternal.
The last song.
You already alluded to the lyrics earlier, so we can, I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Did I allude? Did I?
Yeah.
I don't know if I did. Okay. Well, what do you got on this one?
Like lyrically, musically, I guess.
Musically.
I think so. I think it's a fantastic transition from the previous instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think this should be a separate song. I think it should just be one fucking long song.
Ooh,
they did it on Infest, right? With the whole surf rock thing. I already forgot the fucking name of it. Gulag.
Zombie Queen.
And then Zombie Queen, yeah. Do it again. Just have one. Hold on, dude. Whoa. Just do it again, dude. Have one long fucking song. I think it would have been super dope if it was just one long song.
Yeah, because really this song is just an entire build-up. And building up from that acoustic part would have been fucking awesome. Because it's just, I think, what is it, like maybe a minute and a half is just Tobias singing with the piano and the one bell hit. And it's just this slight build-up with a little bit of like vocal synth happening. But then once it kicks in, it's like this really, it's not like this heavy part, but it's like, it's very synth organ driven and it's very, very haunting. And I think it's a great way to end the fucking record. I think this is a perfect ending to the record. Some guitar leads that add to the buildup of the song and the verses. And then it really kind of crescendos with all those background vocals to round it out. And it's fucking great. It's a great closer. It really, really is.
And
but
I
as
like,
a standalone song, it doesn't.
no,
It doesn't. It's a bottom tier banger.
because it shouldn't be a standalone song. It should be
Agreed.
part. Yeah, it should be part of a small suite, because the whole concept of life eternal and like immortality and living forever, I think is one that's, it's fun to talk about, but when you really get into it, like, do you really want to fucking live forever? Like, do you want to see people die over and over and over and over? And I think it's cool because the song, like, over and over and over, it says the word forever constantly, and so it makes you kind of like think about what you're saying here.
Yeah.
If you had life eternal, that's the last thing that you hear from the album. If you had life eternal, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of making you think a little bit.
It's just an extremely sad song. Very, very depressing, because like you said, it's bringing up the choice. If you could have life eternal, would you do it? Would you want to see everybody around you die continuously with no way out of it, or would you just rather see these people die that you love so much now, and then you can eventually see them when you cross over as well? And there are moments lyrically on this song where it's the last moment before the other person crosses over, like that one last moment of like happiness, and then it's just sad, just like it's just it's
invoking
sad.
Emotion, and I think like this was a terrible movie. It was fucking a joke, but League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Sean Connery, like, just a fucking garbage movie, but it incorporated a lot of these old, like, what I think were English folk tales, right? Like Dorian Gray and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, all of these things into one movie. And that was the first time I was ever exposed to, I think his name is Dorian Gray, the guy that could live forever, but I think he couldn't see his own painting. And if he did see his own painting, then he wasn't immortal. I think that was the folk tale, something like that. Okay. But that was the first time I ever kind of like contemplated, like, damn, dude, maybe like living forever would suck. That would be terrible. And so I like that. I like just, because that movie was terrible. Like, give me something that's dumb, but made me think. And this album,
I haven't watched that movie since it came out.
Oh, it's terrible. But that was the first time I ever thought about like living forever and how much it would not be fun until like now, until Life Eternal.
You gotta read Interview with the Vampire.
That's not going to happen.
You got it. That's kind of partially what it's about.
I get that. I'm happy with knowing that I saw Brad Pitt in like heavy lipstick and goofy ass white makeup. Yeah. And falling downstairs and shit.
That movie is good though.
It's a good movie.
It's a solid movie, man.
I swear to God, that was Nicole Kidman though.
What part are you referring to?
Kirsten Dunst's character. I thought that was Nicole Kidman.
She's like fucking 7 years old.
No, she's a child.
Tom Cruise is already married to Nicole Kidman at this point.
I know, they were together. I know, that's why it doesn't make any sense, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit.
Antonio Banderas was in it too. Remember that?
I don't remember him there, no.
Yeah, he was one of the vampires towards the end. Then I
do love Antonio Banderas.
Gotta watch Interview again. Great fucking movie.
Maybe read the book.
No.
Is Antonio Banderas in the book?
His character is, yeah.
Was Antonio Banderas in the book?
Yes, he is. So is Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
And Nicole Kidman?
And Nicole Kidman, yes. Annoying.
That's all I got, dude. I'm done with Ghost.
Oh, me too. So let's give our let's wrap it up. Our final thoughts. We'll rate the record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album but give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got, Jeff? Go.
God, man, this band is dumb. This Tobias guy, it's stupid, it's silly, it's a shtick. It's a shtick that he didn't even like perfect it. He didn't do anything about it. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad in a lot of cases. It's bad and it's mediocre and it's vanilla. Mm-hmm. But damn, this album's something else. This album is something else. This album is like, he tried really, really hard over the course of 1, 2, 3 albums and then perfected it here. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't mind, you know, the world champion 2002 Anaheim Angels not being a good team prior to that or after that. For that 1 year. For that 1 year, you were the best. And I feel like that's this. And I'm still watching the Angels. And they I didn't want to go into it, but they're still fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But for that 1 year, that 1 year was our year. And this album, this one album, this is our album.
This is, yeah, okay. All right. So
there's not a lot of bands that we do that we don't gush over throughout, you know, with Bouncing Souls we do and Turnstile will do at some point. Well, spoiler.
Well, I don't know that.
Korn you do, but like there's a lot of bands that we gush over just because they're nostalgic, just because they're whatever. I have no nostalgia with this band other than I'm aware they existed. I am aware that I did not like them until this week.
The only nostalgia you had with this band is how much you hated them because I liked them. That's your nostalgia.
Yeah, really. But they've been around again. They've been around for far longer than they deserve to be. Honestly, honest to Ghost. They've been around way too long.
Honest to Ghost. That's a joke, dude.
I just want to build up how much I don't like this band as a whole. Because I want to drop into how I think this album is absolutely fucking perfect. How I think this album exceeds expectations in every fucking which way. I just cannot even fucking believe that the same band that put out Meliora, that put out Infest, that put out their first album, did this. I just, it fucking boggles my mind. I cannot even, I just don't understand it. I can't even listen to those other albums.
That
I really
means
can't.
You have to go back and listen to the other records.
I will. I'll go back.
Maybe you'll
and
have a different
to
appreciation
Impera.
for them now.
Impera. I'll go back and listen to Impera. But I did. I listened to all these. I listened to all these albums at least twice, and this one I listened to the most. I listened to this album like 7 times.
Jesus.
It was, including one time today, like as we're like jumping onto the pod. Like I can't believe it. I cannot fucking believe it.
It's a great fucking record, man. It really is.
I don't know, dude. It's not just a great. It's like historic. It really is.
Wow.
It's fucking historic. It is
That's a bold statement from you.
It's a band that created. It's like as if Kiss created a world, not just an image, right? Like Kiss created an image. They helped define generations. I get it. I don't like Kiss. But like Kiss created something that Ghost would not be here today had it not been for Kiss. But like Ghost just took it beyond that and created a world. Most of that world is shit and mediocre and fucking dumb and cartoony and kind of like childlike. But goddamn, dude. It's a perfect album. This is a 3 out of 3.
Perfect.
This is a fucking perfect album through and through. It tells a story from beginning to end. It keeps in line with that concept from beginning to end. It makes you think like, hey, I know what you're saying, but maybe you're also saying this. And he's just kind of like sitting back there with that Grinch smile, like, like Mr. Burns with his fingers, like, maybe I'm saying something else. Like it leaves so much open to interpretation. Nothing about this album, like musically, is mind blowing. Nobody on this album is Jimmy Page. Nobody on this album is fucking Bonham. Nobody's is shredding. Nobody's doing anything.
Oh, I was thinking Bono. Sorry.
Or Bono. But goddamn, dude, I cannot like understate how great this album is, and I cannot overstate how much I hate everything else outside of this.
So
I honestly would give albums 1, 2, 3, and 5 a sub 1. And I would give this a perfect 3 out of 3.
That's astonishing.
I fucking hate their other albums.
I did not
really
expect
fucking do.
any of this.
I fucking hate their other albums. I think it's a joke.
Go back and listen to them more. You'll appreciate them. You'll like them more. I know it.
Maybe.
So my final thoughts. This is truly a standout record. I agree with you. Nothing sounds this good. Musically, from songwriting, vocally, nothing matches with this. Maybe Impera has better, guitar chops on it. Like technically, that's better. but the overall theme, everything else is just top notch on this. And I know we didn't touch upon it. All the records have this overarching theme of, the first album is, Doomsday, the Antichrist coming, and then so on and so forth. But, as a standalone record, this is just fucking awesome. It has all the best melodies. It takes from genres, the best from all these various genres, from stoner rock, arena rock, new wave, modern rock. It has the best of everything here. 2 fucking instrumental songs that, you don't hear that in modern pop rock, modern metal music. You just don't hear that.
Absolutely.
And what's cool about especially Miasma is that it's not overindulgent. It's not a 12-minute fucking Rush song, telling this vast story. It's wrapped up in 5.5 minutes, but it still makes you feel fucking really cool. There's a great story that it tells in such a short amount of time, and I love that. I fucking love that about it. The ballads are absolutely killer. Something we didn't touch upon was the artwork. I love the artwork. Outside of the first record, Opus Hippopotamus, this is their second best piece of artwork. I love it. I think they just nail it every single time with that. The presentation of everything, the amount of effort and work that they put into their artwork, not just on the cover, but the inner sleeves, everything like that. Like I mentioned on the rankings episode, what they did with Impera on at least my pressing of the vinyl is I was just so impressed by it. The booklet that came with it was just phenomenal. It was amazing. And this record, it's just, everything about it is just so different. There's nobody like Ghost nowadays. They really have picked up where other bands like Kiss, Slipknot, Alice Cooper, these theatrical
those are
bands
the biggest
left.
For sure. Those are the biggest in like the category of shtick and lore and
I fucking love it. And not, it's not just like the costumes, it's the anonymity. I mean, Alice Cooper, he had that mysterious way about him. Kiss took it to that next level. Nobody had known what Kiss looked like until the early 80s, until they finally unmasked. They took the makeup off. Slipknot was the same way. There's even one guy in Slipknot where there's only like 5 pictures that are known of him. It's something like Buckethead shit. It's fucking insane. Like Slipknot, they kept that anonymity going until Paul died in 2011. And Ghost is the same way. They kept that hidden until shit went down, legally. And I love the dedication. I appreciate that dedication. It's so much fun, and it's shit that you don't see. Musically, it's fantastic. I don't know. I'm just repeating myself. So with that,
baby,
it's a perfect 3 out of 3, man. I agree with you. This is the only perfect album they've done. Everything before this ranges from a 2 to 2.5. But this is a perfect 3 out of 3. Hands fucking down. This record is fucking amazing. Love Prequelle.
Well, I just want to reiterate that all 4 of their other albums, I would give a sub 1. I think they're bad. I think they're trash.
And that's wrong. But like I said, give it a few more listens. I think you'll learn to appreciate a couple of them. At least 1 or 2 of them you'll learn to appreciate. I think you'll begin to like Impera and Meliora. I think those are the 2 that you'll begin to like more. They're a little bit more complex and poppier at the same time. But
I will give it a go. I will give it a go.
All right. So do we have anything else on Prequelle?
That's it. That's all.
Well, thank you all for listening. You know what to do. Give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Tell all your friends. Join the Discord. Hang out with us. Follow us on social media. And that's it. That's all.
Rats. But I think that's
right?
I fucking hate it. I hate it so goddamn much. But I do it every time. Rats.
you only hate it because it's Ghost. I guarantee you, if it's any other band that you like or love, you would be like the coolest fucking thing they've ever done.
Even when I just did it right now, like I grip the side of my chair and like flex my chest upwards and shimmy like rats, like I'm on fucking stage in like a Cat's play or something. It's annoying.